Hey guys, today we're going to learn a basics HTML and CSS. So a bit of background of HTML and CSS. HTML is hypertext markup language, which provides the structure of a web page, while CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, provides the visual elements of how it looks of the web page, and it gives color, and it styles your web page basically. So basically we're going to create a really simple HTML and CSS website today, and I'm going to bring you through the process of how to do it. So first, open up any text editor that you have that you could edit HTML and CSS. So for me, I'll be using VS Code, but you could use anything like Notepad++ or anything other than that. So we're going to create a new file. So I'm just going to name this as index.html. So once we have the index.html file, this is our main file, and we're going to start off with the doc type HTML. So for every file, we're going to start with a doc type of HTML, and then we're going to have the HTML tags. So every tag would have an open tag, which is this, and then every tag would have to be closed by this backslash and then HTML. So and then in this HTML text, we're going to put in a head, and we're going to have a body. So this is the basic structure. So whatever goes in head is not going to be seen in the web page, but rather the back end of the web page. So basically, we can set the character set as UTF-8. So meta char set equals to, and then UTF-8, and then we can give a title for our website. So the title will come up as at the top here. So if we name it, let's say we name it home, you see it changes here automatically. So this is what comes up as the title. And then finally, we're going to have a link to our external CSS once we create it. So we're going to rel equals to style sheet, and then we're going to link, which we're going to use the href to link it to a style.css. Oops. And then we're going to close it. Next, we're gonna add some text into the bodies to make our web page. So we're gonna start with a container called the header. So we're gonna put a container which is div, and then so in this container we can add a h1 tag. So h1 tags are headings. So we can create headings from h1 to h6. So we're gonna start with a h1 here, and we're gonna create a restaurant website. So so it will consist of the main front page, and then it would have a menu, and then it would have a contact us. So let's just name this restaurant or cafe, warm cafe, and then we want a navigation bar below it. So we're gonna use the tag nav to add our navigation list, so that we can go to the other different sites. So basically now we're gonna add an ordered list. So you're gonna use an unordered list for this. So we're gonna use ul, and then inside this ordered list we're gonna put li, and then as you can see here, it comes out a new thing, and then we're gonna name this home. I'm gonna create one more menu, and we're gonna have this called contact us. Great. Okay, so now as you can see, it's there, but we want this to be clickable so that it links us to a different page. So how do we do that? So basically what we have to do is add li href. Sorry, we got to add the a text in between the home, so we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna close it, and then inside this a text which which allows you to create put inside links to another web page. We can put this as href equals to, and then if home is our main page, we're just gonna link this to index.html, and then for the rest we can do the same. And then this one we'll link it to let's link it to a menu.html, which we will create later, and then finally oops yeah, this way, and then we're gonna add in the link to contact.html. Great. Okay, so this will be our nav bar. It might not look like a navigation bar now because there is no styling to it, but once we add a bit of styling to it, it would look just like a navigation bar that you would see on websites. Okay, let's move on. So we want to get out this container, and we want to create a new container. So basically this container, let's add an image for say. So we can get any image from the online website, but we're gonna add this image here, and we're gonna link it to we're gonna put it into our index.html. So in order for us to do that, we're gonna call the image text, and then inside this image text we're gonna link to banner.jpg, and as you can see it comes up, and then we're gonna give an alternate text, which means that if the image is not found, it would give this alternate text. So we're gonna call warm cafe banner. So now it should come out. It looks pretty big, but with a bit of editing with CSS, we will make this smaller. So moving on, let's add a new container, and then this container we're gonna add our h2 text. So the h2 text we're gonna say welcome to Warm Cafe, or anything that you like to add into the h2 text. And then below it we're gonna have a paragraph which states what the Warm Cafe is about. So we can say Warm Cafe is a cozy place to chill. Okay, wait, let's just remove this image because it's flickering a lot. So let's just remove it first. We'll add it back once we are done. So Warm Cafe is a cozy place to chill, where you can enjoy a cup of tea and some desserts. So and you can basically place anything here, and then you could say we offer a variety of items from the menu. Yeah, so this p tag basically writes a paragraph for you, and then let's say, and then we could do something like and then we could continue adding on your hearts will feel warm and cozy while in our cafe. So something like this. So once you're done, we want to emphasize the word warm, so we're gonna make the word warm bold because it is in our name. So basically what we're gonna do is we can add strong, and then we can close the warm with strong tag. So we can put it in between CSS. Oh, sorry, we could put it in between the p tags. So in order to bold our words. Yeah, this way. So as you can see now, warm is bolded, but the rest stays the same by using the strong tags. Okay, next we can create a new container, and then we want to add the locations of our places, so we can create a new h2 tag and say our locations, and then we could add a paragraph stating that we have multiple locations Singapore, and then we can add a new container, and we have our history text in it, and then this would be our first location, which we could say flagship cafe, and then we could put in a p-text which states that is at, let's say, 123 Sengkang Road, and then we can add another p-tag to state our opening hours. And then we could basically just copy and paste this and add our second location, and then we just have to change whatever is up here. So we call this and let's say this only opens from 8 to 8. Okay, once we're done, this is basically our main layout of the page, and then finally we're going to get out of the two tags, two containers, and then we're going to add a footer. So in this footer we're going to add a paragraph, so we're going to add our social medias in our footer. So social media, then we're going to create another unordered list. So we're going to have, and then we're going to put the a text because we want to link to our social media. So we'll say Instagram, and we could link this to an Instagram page. And then we could do this the rest for Instagram, Facebook, and let's say YouTube. So when we click on one of these social media links, it will direct us to our social media page. So this is basically the structure of our home page, and now we want to create our sub pages for our menu and our contact us. So we're going to create a new HTML file called menu.html, and basically in this menu.html we want the same layout, which is .html. We want HTML text to start off, and then we want a head, and then we want a body. So let's just quickly write this out. Transfer equals to UTF-8, and then title, let's name this menu, and then our link to our CSS, and then in our body now, we're gonna copy and paste the navigation bar and the h1 text from our main file. and then we're going to create a new section. So next we're going to add a new container. Well, seems like it's been created. Okay, we're going to add our h2 tags. We call this our menu. Let's change to the menu tab. So we're just going to click on this, and it would see it displays whatever we have written on here. And we're going to add a paragraph stating that check out how delicious drinks and desserts from our menu specially created by our chef. So this is a paragraph, and then next we would add a table. So we want a table filled with our items, the description of the items, and the price. So we're going to start off with a table tab to define that this is a table, and then in each table there will be rows and columns. So we're going to create our first row, which is called TR, and in this table row we'll want to have the table headers. So this is the top of our table. So table headers will just be TH, and then we can call our first one items, and then we can call the second one description, and then we want the prices of it. And then we're going to exit this row, and we're going to create a new row, but instead of using the th tags, which is for the headers, we're going to use td, which stands for table data. So we're going to use td, and then we're going to click in coffee. So the description is hot brew coffee, and then let's set the price to let's say $4.50. So you can add as however much items you like on the in this tables. So I will create a few, and once you're done I'll come back. So as you can see, once you're done, you would have a table filled with the items description and the prices. And then once you're done, that's what we have in our menu, and then we're just going to copy and paste from the index.html our footer. And ta-da, we're done with the menu. Okay, next we're going to create a contact HTML page. This will be contact.html, and then so we're going to start off with the basic stuff, which is type, HTML, body. We're going to have to have a head, and then we're going to have our CTF8, and then our title, contact us, and then a link, and this is goes to style.css. Okay, let's close this. Okay, in our body we want a form to basically in order for them to send us a message and for them to contact us. So I'm going to create a container with the same navigation. So I'm just going to copy this, and paste it into our here, and then create a new container where we're gonna have our form inside. So we're gonna have a h2 tag, contact us, and then a paragraph stating on have a question or feedback, contact us, So once we're done with that, we are gonna create a form using the form type. So inside this form we would have a label and an input. So the label is to designate to the input. So for every label, every input there should be a label. So we're going to start off with the label first. So in this label we're gonna say for, so that we know what's the label for. So this is gonna have name, and then this label we're just gonna name it name, and then we're gonna use the input tags, and then the types. This we're gonna have a text, and then yeah, that's it. So this one there is a special case where there will be no closing tags for this. So yeah, and then so basically we're gonna use BR to break a line so that it forms a new line. So and then we're just gonna click label, and then for we're gonna collect the user's email right now, and then put email, and then we're gonna have a new input which type equals to email. So there are many different types. You could go online and search the different types of inputs that you can get the user to input. So yeah, and then we're gonna break one more time, break new line, and then we're gonna have a text area which is a different tag in order for them to type in a paragraph of long messages. So we just put label, and then for message, and then we can just put message, and then we're going to create a text area with our new text. So text area, and basically in this text area what we want is open and close. So basically this will just give you the text box here, as you can see, so you can expand it however much you like. So once we're done, we need another input to submit our form. So let's break a new line, and then let's put our input as a submit button. And then we can close this. Cool. So once we're done, that's about it, and then we just have to add in our footer. And there you have a basic HTML for contact us. Okay, basically now we're gonna create a style.css file which would do our styling for us. So in order for us to do this, we need to basically, so for us to start, we want all of our bodies to look the same so that it looks coherent and beautiful. So we're gonna call the body, and we're gonna have this curly brackets, and then inside we can define our font family. Let's name it as Arial and Sans Serif. So this though is the most common that people use, and you could use any font basically. And then let's set our margin to be 0, and then our padding to be 0 too. And then let's add the background color to so you could basically add any color. You could add pink, blue, red, or whatever color you basically want to define. So blue, it would change to blue. If you want a pink color, it would change to pink. So for the purpose of this video, let's just use white tone. And then for our color of our text, let's just put it as black. Yes, so once we're done, we're gonna make sure that all our h1, h2, and h3 tags are similar. So we're just gonna call h1, comma h2, and then h3, and then we're gonna call the margin and 0.5 EM. And then for our P, we're just going to set it as and then okay, so now we want to do for specific containers, so we want our header to look different and then our footer to look different. So how do we do that? So basically, as you can see, we have created containers here. So we're going to go through the containers, each container, and we're going to add a class. So the class, it's header. So basically what class does is it groups up different sorry, let's put this as ID. So basically ID is specific elements and class is a group of elements. So for the page, so we could call this the header, and then let's do it for index.html first. ID equals to, and then you can name whatever you want. So we're just going to call it header, and let's do that for the concept.r system. So once we're done, to get the ID of the header inside our style.css, what we'll do is we would do the hashtag, and then we'll call it header, and then we're going to add a background color, which would be, you can basically add any color, but we're going to add the color of brown, as you can see here. It doesn't look so good, but we're just going to make some modifications. Color, then that's the color of the text, and then we're going to have for padding, and then we're going to align the text in the center. Cool. So next we want to we're gonna start naming all of our classes and IDs. So basically, to name a class is the same way. So what you do is basically just let's say for this h1 tag, you want to name class equals to main title, and then to access this main title in the CSS, basically what you could do is just dot and then main title. So and then we could override the main title to have color, and let's say we want pink. As you can see, it overrides the h1 tag, and then we could add on different types of CSS. So I'm gonna be adding the IDs and the classes to all my ID tags, and then you could later see what it looks like. So basically, once you have added all the different IDs and classes, as you can see here, source code will be given in the link in the description below. So once you have all the IDs and the classes, it makes it much easier for us to edit our style.css to make it how we want it to look like. So basically, moving on, once you have created the different classes and IDs, we're going to call the nav list, so each of the home, menu, and contact, and then we're just gonna add some styling. So we're just gonna style this to none, basically remove the bullet points, and then we're just gonna add and then margin 0, and then our display will just flex it so that it creates one line for us, and then we want it in the center, so we're going to call the justify the contents and then call it to the center. And then for And then when for the left item ID, let's add a margin of 0 and 1 set away, and then left item, let's create this. So the color of the words, let's just put it as white. And then we can have text decoration is none, so that we remove the underlines. Sorry, we have to call an A here to make sure that it's the A text. And then font weight, let's make it bold. So you could add you could add bold in CSS or the HTML. It's up to you and up to your preferences. And then basically, yep. So this is how the banner will look like. And then footer will look something similar. And then let's say we want to make it once you have created your CSS, so basically it's a combination of all this. It would look something prettier. So once I'm done, I will get back to you. Okay, so once we're done with our CSS file, it should look something as long as this. And so basically you're just calling it to modify and how the elements look like, basically using different for example your padding, your margin, or you want to change the background color or the color of the text, or you want to align the text basically. So this is how you do a basic HTML and CSS file. So for the menu, you could see that our table is now centered with distinguishable lines, and then our header is colored with the brown to suit the theme. And then you can see our social media here below is clickable. As you can see at the bottom left, it links to Instagram.com, Facebook.com, and YouTube.com. And then for our main page, we added back the image, the banner image, and we have resized it here. So this is how we resize the banner to make it look smaller, and then this is how it looks like. So yeah, basically that's how you create a basic HTML and CSS file. Thanks for watching.